Welcome, all you water lovers. I'm Misty here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan, and I've got another Michigander coming up on the line here for episode 24. But we've got classes forming, and the schedule is blooming with events, new class types, all types that will be fun for beginners and advanced if you've been with me before on the water with paddleboards, inflatables. We've got all the things, Evolve paddleboards here in the house. So I'm looking forward to the chat with Meg from Great Lakes, Great Responsibility. She's got the 1 million trash challenge, and you can contribute. You can actually put in your pieces of trash that you have picked up, whether it's your home inland lake like me in Sylvan Lake. So I'm excited to have her coming up here on the podcast, and hope you guys are enjoying. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Meg. How are you? It's so great to have you on the podcast. Wave on here.
Thanks, Misty. Yeah, I'm great. Great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure meeting you. Of course, we've had some clubhouse chats already and kind of gotten to know each other like that. So, what's nice is this community of nature lovers, water lovers, paddleboarders of all kinds have kind of like come together and swapping inspiration and then like I said, I found out about you and your mission and what you do with Great Lakes, Great Responsibility. So you've got and you're in Michigan, so this is awesome. You're up north Michigan, and I'm a little south of you, and we have the Great Lakes all around us here that we share. So yeah, I love. We're dying to hear about it. We're loving what you're doing.
Yay. Yeah. It's been, quite the adventure. I started Great Lakes Great Responsibility in November of last year, and it's really like, not to put a pun in it, it's become a wave. It's become a movement of picking up trash all around the Great Lakes region. So it's been really awesome to connect with people like you and, other water lovers and advocates, because I think all of us care about clean water, and it's been cool to engage people around a cause like picking up litter through our Great Lakes 1 million challenge, and to see people take action on behalf of the Great Lakes.
Yeah. So you started back in November. What initially kicked you off that you wanted to, was this something that you were always kind of working on and you thought, hey, I'm gonna really go for it?
Yeah. So it had been an idea in my mind for quite a while, and I thought of possibly creating like a Four Ocean model for the Great Lakes. Four Ocean is a company that has recycled bracelets that they have like glass and use recycled thread or plastic or something from litter that they pick up all around the oceans. And I was like, oh, maybe we could do that for the Great Lakes. And it was kind of, I felt like I was biting off maybe a little too much trying to create a business, but I knew
Yeah.
this idea of cleaning up litter was something that resonated with me and something that I wanted to pursue for sure, whether it was a business or just through a nonprofit. So with COVID and stuff, I've been spending quite a bit of time outside and along beaches. And in April of last year, I found quite a bit of litter just in my city beach. And then, I didn't take action at that moment, but things started to build. And in November of last year, I found quite a bit of litter again on another local beach. And I'm like, okay, let's take action. Let's rally around a goal. And, I this little anecdote that I normally tell is I did a little bit of mental math, and I love setting like numerical goals for myself, and thought, could I pick up 1 million pieces of trash, and figured out it would take me a really long time, like decades, to do it. So I thought I would engage other people around the Great Lakes region, and all of our lakes need help. It's not just Lake Huron where I live. There's 22 million pounds of trash that go into the lakes every year. So that's a significant amount, and it's going to take, thousands of people taking action to prevent that from going into the lakes.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is a huge, it's a continuing mission,
It is, yeah. And, I do realize we're like kind of the last line of defense when it comes to plastic or garbage from entering the lakes. And there are things, as individuals and corporations that could be done at a higher level. But right now
Right.
we're really just rallying around this litter goal because it's something that anybody can do. It's very accessible. It's very COVID friendly. You go outside, all you need is like a glove, hopefully just for safety purposes, and
Mm-hmm.
some sort of receptacle to put trash in. And you just count the trash, and you can enter it on our website and contribute to that Great Lakes 1 million goal. So, and you'll join like this really cool crowd of other water advocates that are picking up trash alongside you in all of the lakes. So
Cool. So you go onto your website. What's your website?
yeah, greatlakeslove.org is our website.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and
I like that.
there's a little tab that says join the Great Lakes 1 million challenge, and there's just a quick Google form. It's real simple. How many pieces of trash did you pick up? Were you in the Great Lakes Basin, which all of Michigan is, if folks are from Michigan, but then there are, 7 other states and Ontario that touch the Great Lakes too. So anybody who's in a Great Lakes watershed, we're counting all of that, whether you're inland or right along a beach, because those watersheds drain into our lakes, and starting at the headwaters is super important too. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
totally. I mean, even in some of the past podcasts that I've had on, even like SUP Garbage Guy, I mean, he's in the Potomac River, but I mean, we were just talking about how water moves, and I mean, when you have a current, that it really moves stuff around, so there's always something popping up to pick up. And for us, it's all flows out through the St. Lawrence and goes somewhere else to the ocean. And and the Great Lakes are huge and they're all combined. So it's so when you go onto your site and say I have a bucket of trash, like what would I do?
So first tip is, if you want to do the Great Lakes 1 million challenge, my first tip would be like counting your trash as you go, so you don't have to dump your bucket out afterwards, and count it, because that's just a pain.
Right.
But if you haven't, you dump your bucket out and count. But if you have a number in mind, you just go to our website. You would go fill out that Google form. It's just a name, email address, how many pieces you picked up, where you picked them up. And I would love to start tracking, like use a map to track where the trash is, and do a little bit more data collection, because I think
Yeah.
that can be really powerful to show what types of trash are showing up where. Right now I just have it, it spits out like an Excel spreadsheet, and so I can see it, but I think that it would resonate with people to have, a map that shows,
I think you're
someone
right.
has been picking up trash in my area, or my area really needs help. No one's picking up trash here. So
I think that would
yeah.
be really cool. It'd be an awesome idea. And maybe even I just thought of like if like we were talking about the waters connecting, maybe even a map, whether you just started with Michigan and how like all the inland rivers and like the lakes and where they all go, because like the Detroit River, which is a little closer to me, down from Lake Huron, it goes through um, Lake St. Clair, and then the Detroit River, then Lake Erie, and then it keeps going, it keeps spitting out. So how all of that is kind of like channeled. So that'd be kind of fun too. I know when
Yeah.
I watched when I did watch the SUP the SUP Garbage Guy, what he does is he uses a monthly like total and uses a graphic with like how many dumpsters he's filled, and it resonated with me. So I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I
It'd be
love
fun.
that. I just love like I'm kind of a numbers gal, so the data is what really intrigues me for sure.
That's
I just
funny.
love seeing people, like when people submit stuff, I'm like, ooh, more numbers to crunch. I love it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm more like the graphics person.
Yeah. It's funny how people, different things turn, different people on for sure.
Well, I gotta ask you. I'm gonna pick your brain about because you're in Michigan here, and we're talking about the lakes and stuff, and obviously now this is going into the higher end of things, but the Line 5 under the Mackinac Bridge down there in the Straits, it's kind of been a hot
Yeah.
topic for a couple years now or more, but definitely hotter this past week or so. Have you been kind of following that?
I have, yeah, I saw that there was a big like ceremonial eviction service up in the Straits area that was led by some like I believe it was the Anishinaabe people, the indigenous tribal folks that led that, and yeah, they got to get out. I mean, the pipeline, I think it's upwards of 60 years old. There are parts that are because the sand has been washed away, there are parts that are just unsupported. The risk is too great. And frankly, Enbridge does not have the greatest track record for being good stewards of water. They have spilled millions of gallons of oil and gas into the Great Lakes already. And so, yeah, I mean, anybody who is a water advocate knows that that pipeline does not belong in the Straits for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, it's been such a mission to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough. I mean, I feel like the governor put forth like I'm not exactly sure what the terminology was, what she put forth, but I don't know if it's actually going to do anything. Like, I don't know if I don't know if she can actually put a stop to the company without, I mean, I'm sure it will make its way through the courts and there will be some sort of, termination. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard to fight those big oil and gas folks. They've got a lot of ammo and a lot of money
Yeah.
to work with. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been ongoing for sure. And then the messages that get put out there, mixed signals amongst people, it's just another one of those type of things that like, you could turn on the radio and hear a deceiving message being put out there that, it's not a big deal or whatever. And
Yeah,
we kind of know it is, because if something was to happen and that explodes and it bleeds out, it
right.
would go through Lake Michigan side, and then it would come down, Lake Huron.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I mean, I really feel like a similar story too, and something I think that there's been talk of like a nuclear waste facility going in on the Ontario side of Lake Huron.
mm,
I don't know if you've seen that, but I feel like because so many people rely on this fresh water for drinking, for recreation, for, just livelihood in general, the basin is not, I mean, I understand that it's big, but I feel like there should be some sort of like barrier around it. Like there just needs to be protection. You don't bring that kind of stuff into the water
right.
or anywhere that could drain into the water because it's gonna the risk is too bad, too
Yeah.
high,
It's
in my
too
opinion.
it's too bad that, it couldn't be like a national park or forest that was protected.
Yeah, just like a marine sanctuary. There actually is a marine sanctuary here up in the Alpena area, but that's mostly for protecting maritime heritage and shipwrecks, and it's just
Mm,
a little section of the lake, so it doesn't have any sort of like uh, legal ramifications for dump sites or anything like that. It's mostly for shipwrecks and maritime heritage. But yeah, it would be really cool to have it. I mean, it's a fifth of the world's fresh water. I believe it deserves protection for sure.
right. Yeah, definitely. I noticed that you had tell me about the picture of scuba diving.
Oh yeah. So, well, it was just a free diving picture, so no scuba.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually I did try my hand at scuba 2 summers ago in 2019 and tried and failed.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Had like, little claustrophobic freak out moment and
Okay.
just the thought of like not being able to take like an unrestricted breath, 20 foot underwater is like mentally, it is like a mental game for sure. But the photo I think you're referring to is a free diving photo over the LM Mason, a shipwreck in the North Bay of Presque County.
Okay.
And that was a really fun opportunity to work with a Pure Michigan crew actually, and Fauna Creative. And it was quite the ordeal to get out to that shipwreck. So that was in late September, and it was pretty chilly. There was a north wind coming in, and so the water was pretty icy. And I paddleboarded out there on a paddleboard that was not mine, and it was like kind of half deflated, and the wind it was nuts getting out there. And the scuba divers, they had to swim out, but there was some really awesome photos that came of it. And I really would implore anybody who has not been to the National Marine Sanctuary here, if you love paddleboarding, if you love scuba diving or free diving, snorkeling, anything like that, the shipwrecks here range from 200 foot of water to those more extreme depths to just 6 feet of water. So all shapes and sizes, lots of schooners, and it's a really cool place to explore and to be out on the water.
Wow! So you incorporated your paddleboarding with that adventure too?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I took a paddleboard out there. We were on all sorts of different watercraft. One person was on a kayak. The other people just swam out to that wreck. I took the paddleboard. And I was like a little unfamiliar with paddleboarding too. I had like done it a couple of times, but it was probably like my 5th time ever. And like I said, it was a little like deflated. And so I'm like, we're really having to struggle and work. And it was so windy. So that was funny. Probably my toughest paddle ever was that one for sure. But
and then did you anchor the paddleboard?
Yeah, so they have these mooring buoys.
Okay.
So folks don't actually have to throw an anchor down because they are trying to preserve the wrecks, and so not having the anchors being thrown is a priority. So yeah, they've got these mooring buoys that they set, and so we hooked up to the buoys, hooked the paddleboard up, hooked the kayak up, got my little booties on, like, because it was pretty chilly. Got like a hood on even, so I looked kind of like an alien, but
all covered up.
All covered up.
Oh, that's cool though. That's awesome. That's a sweet adventure. I'd probably want to try that.
Yeah, I would recommend like maybe late August, not late September.
Yeah, as it gets cold, it gets chilly for sure.
It does.
Yeah, yep. The Great Lakes they're always on the chilly side, it seems like.
They are, for sure. I just got a new wetsuit actually for my birthday, so I'm excited to give that a try. It's just a 3 millimeter one, but it'll help expand the season a little bit more. We can safely be out and about, and even just on the paddleboard too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mine's like a 4.3.
Okay.
It's a little thicker. It's harder to get on when they're thicker like that, but.
Yeah, I felt like a little sausage trying to get into mine last week, trying it on for the first time. But I think if I
you have to lather up in coconut oil or something. Some kind of oils.
Maybe I'll try to get wet first. I don't know. But it was fun.
That's the tip I have. I'm like coconut oil or some kind of like some bum has a cool down spray.
Yeah. You can't like be hot and trying to get into one. That is the most uncomfortable experience.
It totally is. I mean, like this weekend, actually, I haven't done a temperature check on our lake in probably about a week and a half or so. I don't think it's really warmed up that much, but we're having some warm days now. And Saturday, I want to do one of those flip rescues on the paddleboard. So the board's flipped over, but I got to have a partner. And my partner, she has a wetsuit, but I think it's 3 mil, and she does not want to be cold. And I'm like, it's going to be 86 degrees. Like, I think you're going to be hot. Like, I don't even think I'm wearing my full wetsuit. I think I'm going to go shorty. Like, I have the shorty one that, my legs and arms are exposed, and I won't get too hot then.
Yeah, I know that's the risk too. Like if you're up top and you're not actually in the water, you're
Yeah.
freaking dying.
I know. And that will so be me because if I have that thing around my neck, the full wetsuit and the way it like velcros on your neck, like on the back of your neck, I'll be like, I'm
Yeah.
choking. It's
Choke you
hot.
out.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. Well, I so the million say it again, the million pickup challenge.
Oh, the Great Lakes 1 million challenge. Yeah,
Okay.
that's our big goal is to pick up 1 million pieces. And that like because I wanted to make it pretty barrier free, it's not by weight or anything, it's not by size. It's basically like
Just
one
pieces.
piece of trash is one piece of trash. It could be like a giant tire. It could be like a tiny piece of plastic. So
is one of the questions, are you keeping your trash find?
What do you mean?
Like if you find something, you're like, I can't throw that out. I'm keeping it.
Oh, well, it depends on what it is. I haven't been collecting all of these pieces that I've been finding, although I have considered it because I see like some different profiles on Instagram, like the Trashy collection. She has like these microplastics sorted by color and does these really beautiful art pieces. I'm like, oh, I could probably do that, but then I just have like jars of different colored plastics all around my garage or whatever.
Yeah, or like sea glass, which is, out of the ocean.
Yeah. I
Those
mean,
are
I do
pretty.
have like jars of some beach glass because it is pretty, and I found stuff that has like lettering on it, and I do, yeah. I mean, if it's glass, sometimes I'll keep it if it's been like worn enough. The purists of beach glass would probably like throw a piece back or whatever if it hasn't been worn enough, but I usually just pull it out. I don't know. I'm making trouble.
You're making trouble for somebody else's mission. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, when you mentioned the bracelets from the ocean, it's Ocean 40, right? Or
Four Ocean, so it's like the number 4 and then Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, it's their company. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know at first that's probably sounds like a huge mission, but I bet that's something that you could probably work toward, or like you're mentioning, maybe with the art or something. Maybe it's not jewelry, but art or something. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. Like, seems like there's something there though that maybe it was even a partnership with another Michigan like jewelry maker or something. You never know.
Yeah, there's, since starting this, I've found quite a few different like beach glass jewelers. So I wonder if they would, maybe even want the things that I find or that everybody, in Great Lakes Great Responsibility would find, where we could like mail it to them, or like the Trashy collection. I talked with a girl who does those art projects, Hannah Tizedis. I'm butchering her last name, but she was open to having, our crew mail her different plastics and stuff that were colorful. So haven't like actually followed through with that yet, but definitely, if something can come of use of it, that would be better than it going into a landfill for sure.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Today I had my brand new picker, my squeeze grab picker upper thing. And
oh yeah.
It's I always say that I find boring things in this lake. Like there's rarely anything that's like, wow, cool, look at this. And I thought it looked like a piece of paper, actually, because we put the dock in and the water is super clear because there's not a ton of boats stirring up. I mean, the water is pretty clear and clean anyways, but when it first comes out of winter and that thaw and the water just being untouched, it's crystal clear. It's so different. And anyway, I was looking down and I'm like, wow, it looks like a piece of paper. And I know my neighbor said he lost some money at one point last summer. And I'm thinking, I wonder if, and I grabbed the picker and I was like, oh, it's not even a piece of paper. It's a tile. I think it's a tile. I had a hard time actually grabbing it and pulling it up. I didn't realize it even had some thickness to it. So that's why I'm thinking of some kind of tile.
Okay. Yeah. With like writing on it, or like,
yeah,
is it just like white?
It was white and it sort of looked like some kind of writing. and it might be just distressed or something that looks like writing.
Well, it's a mystery. We'll have to stay tuned to see
I know, right?
the bottom of the lake.
When I finally pick it up,
Yes.
I just kind of moved it around, and I'm like, wait, this is actually kind of a challenge. And then I did grab it, and I was like, it looks like it's just a piece of tile of some tile work, but it might not even be that. And then there was a washer. I picked the washer up, but
okay.
Yeah.
How is your trash grabber? I've been finding like the one I have, it takes some squeeze, man. I
Really?
am like, it's like a wrist exercise for me.
At one point, didn't you mention something about Home Depot?
Yeah, so those are the ones I've been working with, are
I think
the
mine's
ones
the
that were
same.
donated from. Okay.
I think it's the same, yeah, because my husband got it for me from the dog as a Mother's Day gift.
Oh, that's so nice.
And he said he got it at Home Depot, so I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
that funny?
I was out, I've been trying to like systematically just clean up my own neighborhood. I do like different stretches all the time. And I found myself like having to take a little break from the trash grabber because it was like,
Oh, really?
I don't know. I need to work on my wrist strength, I think.
Yeah, you need like a stress ball or something, or
Yes.
or they have those other squeezers that are more like for each finger to put on. I don't know what they're called, but there'll be like a rubber bumper that fits on your palm, and then you test each finger out.
Yeah, I've seen those. My dad plays guitar, and I got him one of those actually last year for Father's Day, I think, because he has, he's got some finger issues going on. So I got him a little finger exerciser thing, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those are great. Those are, and then the stress ball, if you can get different like density in the foam of the ball.
Oh yeah,
You know,
different
like,
resistance.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, those are good too.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Never thought I'd have to work out to pick up trash, but
Yeah, right. You never thought that you had to do something with like to work out your hands.
right, yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Like you always think
I mean, trash
arms.
picking up does involve like quite a bit of squats if you don't have a
Right.
grabber. So it can be quite the workout. And they even have like plogging now where you're like picking up trash as you're jogging. It's like a whole movement.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a combination of like, it started in Sweden, I guess. It's like Laka Up or something.
Okay.
And a combination of jogging together. And so it's, you'll have to check out the hashtag plogging. There's like all these, I mean, it's spread across Europe, and now it's like in Asia, and of course the US has picked it up too. But
I'm right.
yeah,
Write that down.
if you're interested, I actually wrote a little resource on our website. So there's under the Take Action tab, there's like a how to plog.
Oh, really?
And a resource, that explains what it is and how you can do it. It's really easy and fun, and kind of provides a little stretch break along the path when you're running or jogging or even just walking,
Mhm.
So.
Oh no, that's great. That's really cool. Yeah, I love it. The plogging. I'm not really a big runner, but
me either, really. But I was asked,
Paddleboard.
in partnership with the Michigan DNR, they had like their little Happy Tree 5K, or Happy Little Tree 5K back in April, and I connected with a partner there, and she was interested in just sharing what plogging was, and so I wanted to create that resource specifically for that run, but it's just great for anybody who wants to move a little bit more and get out and pick up trash while you're doing it.
Wow, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it was really cool. There's been some really cool partnerships that have just come from, putting feelers out there, and it's like trying to just inspire other people to take action. It's been really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, with more people being outside, I've heard it go both ways, that it's awesome that people are spending more time outside and having the time to do that over the past year, I guess. But there's been a couple times where I've heard that there's still a little more trash out there that people aren't picking up after themselves and stuff, and it's just getting I think it's just getting the like message out there, and just inspiring
Yeah.
others. And
Yeah, I would like to, maybe refresh that partnership with the DNR and talk about, I mean, there's all sorts of resources for Leave No Trace, and I think it is a really pivotal time to be putting that information out there as, campsites are at max capacity. I don't know if you are a camper at all, but
oh
I
yeah,
know that I've been having to, I think it's like 6 months ahead of time or something,
yep,
you can book a campsite. And I was waiting at like 7 a.m. to refresh and click because these sites are just being booked so readily.
yep,
And I have a friend who runs the local state park here, and he's like, we're at like max capacity all season long. So it's awesome. That's incredible. But, where humans go, trash go is.
mm-hmm.
So it is really important to get that message out there now, especially for like folks who might be newer to using the natural resources in the way that they're going to be using them. And it's not just trash too, it's like staying on the trail and packing in, packing out. It's not taking from nature anything too. So
Yeah,
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 it's it's
those are true topics too.
yeah, it's definitely the time to be doing that natural resource education for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The going back to kind of the topic of the corporations and like starting at like the top of the house kind of thing. I know I like when I see whether it's plastic bottles or cans move from that plastic, that wrapping, that holder, I don't know what it's called. And it's like, what do you do with this? There's nothing to do with this. It's like you cut it up so that so an animal or something doesn't get caught on it. But then it's
Yeah.
just there. It's like this.
Yeah,
It's
like the
always kind of a
6-pack
bummer.
ring. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just a useless piece of plastic that can't be recycled. Like most plastic can't be recycled or is
Right.
recycled at a very low rate of efficiency. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it really does start from like corporations making those decisions to not put that out into the world because I mean, we're given decisions, but
Yeah.
it is on them to make it easier for us to choose the biodegradable option or an option that would be more readily recycled or reused for sure. Yeah. Um, it's it's been something I've been like wrestling with a little bit because I do know that it's more than just a litter problem. It does start at the decision maker level of, these big companies. And so once we hit the, million piece challenge, like what becomes of this movement? How do we
Mm-hmm.
rally around taking action to protect our Great Lakes in other ways? And I actually had I had someone that a friend of mine interviewed for our Wave Maker series. We like to highlight people who are doing great things around the Great Lakes through our Wave Maker series.
Cool.
And it was Dr. Sam Mason, and she's out of I think it's Penn State. I want to say it's Penn State. It's the college that's in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's escaping me right now. If it's not Penn State, I shame on me for not knowing. But anyway, she does microplastics research in the Great Lakes.
Okay.
And she's like one of the lead, one of the only people really doing it. And we asked her, how do we hold corporations accountable? We're picking up litter, we can see like where it's kind of coming from, like who is producing it, that kind of thing. And she's like, you should just put it in a bag and mail it back to them and say, this was found on the shore of Lake Huron.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of just, yeah.
That was her
just be
idea?
like rogue, like, hey, this is your trash. You're responsible for this. But I don't know. I haven't like rallied the crew to do that yet. Just because I do want to keep it positive and not like stir the pot too much. But I think it's a really like fun idea to just be like, this was found in our fresh water. Like,
Or
how
what if
dare
it
you?
was you start a whole Instagram story series, like calling these people out or just in a post. I don't know. I mean, it's like you're just making it aware and you're like, "Hey, look, I found your whatever it is.
Found your stuff.
Found your
Yes.
stuff out here, but I'm picking it up, okay?"
Yeah, there are a couple of movements.
Just saying.
There's like a hashtag is this yours? Where you can call out different corporations and say, hey, I found this hashtag, is this yours?
Mm.
And which I think is pretty cool. And then there's also like the Literati app and website where you can track what types of trash you're finding, like if it is from a producer that you can identify. So that's pretty cool too. And that does require a little more like effort on the end of like whoever's picking it up, but I think
Yeah.
that it does send a message when there's like millions of pieces of, McDonald's cups or Coca-Cola bottles
Mm-hmm.
or, the big hitters. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Greener Futures in Canada. Hers was the Tim Hortons cups
Oh yeah. Ugh.
in Lake
Ugh.
Ontario.
I know. And I've been inspired by a greener future too. I didn't, when I started Great Lakes Great Responsibility, I didn't realize that there was already like a litter pickup movement happening in Lake Ontario. And so I've been following their journey and kind of learning from them a little bit, and
Yeah, it's
trying to
cool.
spread what they're doing eh, to all of the lakes, So
You
it's been
know,
fun to watch
I
their
th-
journey and their success.
that yeah, and it and that's awesome because it's like, you're trying to make a connection. So it's like, you're doing this challenge, and you have for people to, log in and put their stuff in there. But do you have ways of, I don't want to call it um I don't want to call it non-organized, or it's organized to them, but it's not like under a big outfit or a big umbrella. So like if I said, okay, we're going to this beach and we're doing a beach cleanup like Saturday morning, and these folks, say 50 plus people or something like that, is out cleaning up. I mean, how would you know, or how would they know even about you to, like, make the connection about what they're doing, and then, like, like you've got going on.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm just trying to spread the word
Yeah.
and really I mean, there are cleanups that are happening all over, which is awesome. And that data doesn't count towards the 1 million challenge, and that's fine. But it would be, I think it's important to like inspire people who might not be picking up trash already to take that leap and take action to contribute to like this bigger goal, because the people who are picking up trash and like organizing a cleanup are going to do that anyway.
Hmm.
But I'm really hoping to like, bring people into this movement to inspire them. Maybe they wouldn't have done it before, or maybe they see trash on their walks all the time, but they don't pick it up. So this is like maybe something that just like puts them over the edge a little bit, or like triggers them to take action and
Hmm.
become like a new trash picker upper.
Yeah.
So it's a technical term, trash picker upper.
Trash picker upper, yes. There's it's there's all these little, like, terms and like little nichey kind of words you can say about,
Yeah.
it's like sub garbage guy, like I said earlier. He does kind of that sort of thing too with his hashtags. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So do you have any other projects coming up, or any events or anything?
Yeah. So I'm bringing on an intern this summer, to help share the load a little bit.
Oh,
And
cool.
she is a college student. And so I'm excited to reach a younger generation, because they're going to be, the next generation of stewards of our water. And so it's really important to
Hmm.
reach youth and young people. What I'm hoping to have her do is organize like a series of cleanups here in Northeast Michigan, but then also, bring some new content to social media for, choices you can be making as an individual to lower your waste, that kind of stuff. We also have, in addition to our intern, we do have an upcoming Great Lakes art auction that's going to be
Oh.
happening, which is going to be really awesome. We'll have almost 20 different Great Lakes artists, all different mediums, from jewelry to sculpture to painting, and photography.
Nice.
And it's going to be it's a silent just like a silent online auction, because we're all kind of spaced out and don't want to have a big event or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
all these folks have donated a piece of work that was inspired by the Great Lakes, and we're raising funds to start a mini grant program for larger, cleanups where people might want to take on a larger dump site that would require a dumpster or additional disposal costs. And so we're hosting the auction, not only to, be beneficial for the artists to get their word, the word out about their work,
Mm-hmm.
but also to raise funds for this mini grant program, and then to create some cleanup kits that can be distributed to folks all around the Great Lakes region with
Oh, nice.
reusable, with like buckets and trash grabbers and reusable gloves, stuff like
Okay.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, well, that's fun. You got a lot. You got a lot
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm also been working with the Michigan Department of Transportation to do this stormwater filter prototype. So
Okay.
we created this filter and had it fabricated here locally after being inspired by this post. It was this post from Australia actually went viral, but
Mm.
it basically is like big nets at the end of stormwater filters that help in urban areas, particularly grab the trash before they even enter the water, before it even enters the water. And so we thought
Mm-hmm.
we might be able to do one of them locally here. And after calling the company and realizing they were like $6,000 or $7,000 each, we
Wow.
just had one made locally.
Oh,
um,
really?
which is cool. I mean, support local, right? So they just
Yeah.
welded one up, and basically it's like two metal grates on either end of a metal tube that filters into a net that catches stormwater debris.
Yeah.
So that does include like leaf litter and sticks and stuff, but it also includes things like cigarette butts and candy wrappers and all sorts of stuff. So I've been keeping my eye on that and trying to get some data around like
Mm-hmm.
how often does this thing need to be emptied? What is it actually collecting? Is it being efficient? That kind of stuff. So there's just one installed right now, and we're hoping to get them spread throughout
Wow, that
coastal
sounds like a
communities
big,
because,
big
yeah,
mission there.
it it is a big, the infrastructure in these coastal communities is such that anything in a gutter, there's no filter on the ends. When we have a rain event, it all just gets washed down into the sewer system or the stormwater system underneath. And so
Mm-hmm.
like cigarette butts, anything that might be in the gutter ends up out in the lakes. And that's terrible for wildlife. It's terrible for us because we're like pulling the water, out to drink it too. So
Yeah.
anything we can do to try to help that
Oh
or
my
stop that,
gosh.
mitigate it. Yeah.
Wow. That's like a big deal. You said you worked with the Water Commission?
It was the Michigan Department of Transportation, so just
Oh,
the
okay.
local unit up here. Yep.
Okay.
Because they're in charge of the stormwater systems and have control of like the infrastructure, and we're able to install that. So yeah,
Wow.
it's
And
been.
you brought the kind of the idea up the to
They actually reached out to me.
Oh,
So they saw, that
cool.
we had done a cleanup locally and saw that the majority of what we were finding was like cigarette butts and stuff that would be washed down the drain. And so, yeah, someone reached out and wanted to see if we could, get this thing going. And
Mhm.
so it's been successful so far. It's
Wow. Very cool.
yeah, yeah, I'm excited. There's just the one prototype, but we're looking to have one that might fit like on the actual end of a pipe as well,
Mhm.
instead of it sitting out in front of a pipe. So yeah, excited to see what comes of that for sure. And I'm glad that like a department of the government or is taking a step and they're recognizing that that's a problem for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. I thought maybe you had, raised the flag and said, "Hey, why don't we do this?"
Yeah, I mean, it's when you put like something out into the universe,
Mhm.
people gravitate,
Yeah.
and want to partner up and go along for the movement, the ride.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been cool to see all the different partnerships that have come from just putting feelers out there.
Very cool. That's awesome. If you had, 'cause you're a paddleboarder and outdoorsy type and stuff, because we're both in Michigan, so if you had to come up with a brand new slogan of some kind, like to promote Michigan for outdoors.
Oh man. You're putting me on the spot, girl. I don't know. I think I would emphasize like fresh water. I don't know. Are you thinking like a new slogan around like paddleboarding or like not the natural resources that Michigan has in general, or what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Is this a brainstorming session?
No, honestly, I just thought of something that, like if you were to come up with, I guess if you were even someone to get outside and just do litter, and maybe it is through paddleboarding or something like that. And, it doesn't have to be Michigan-based themed or anything, but, we're in the Great Lakes, so I thought I would throw that in there.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, fresh water, fresh coast, I don't know. It's a beautiful place to be. All I know is Michigan is home, and there's nowhere else that I would want to be. If it has to do with picking up litter, I would say every piece counts. That is my motto.
Every piece counts. Doesn't matter if you're walking, running, paddleboarding.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Very good. Awesome. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, do you have another like inspirational message you'd want to share, or anything you're dying to?
No, nothing really that I'm like dying. I think we chatted about, most of what I wanted to talk about. I am so excited that you're highlighting, different people around the Great Lakes region and even beyond. I saw you had somebody from down under.
Yes.
on, which is so cool to have different folks from all over on. So just appreciative that you had me on, and excited to see, excited to have been on.
Well, if you ever come downstate,
yes,
you want to do maybe, like I said, we kind of have boring stuff to clean up here, but I'm sure if we went out on a little paddleboard tour around the lakes, we'd find something throughout the canals and whatnot. So.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And if you're ever in the Northeast Michigan region,
definitely,
we can go paddleboard a shipwreck sometime.
I definitely want to do that. Actually, I did not know that was a thing. I being in Michigan,
it's kind of scary at first. I will say, can be a little creepy.
Oh boy. Well, at least I know I'm not in shark-infested water, I guess.
Exactly. Fresh coast, baby. Yeah. Yeah. But yes, definitely hit me up. I would love to have, a collection of paddleboarders go out, and it would be
that could
incredible.
Be a thing.
My husband has a drone too, so those overhead shots of the shipwrecks and paddleboarders are always awesome too. So.
Oh wow, does he ever post any?
He just got it actually in February, I think, or something like that. So we haven't had a season where it's been warm enough for me to be out there. But yeah, definitely look for that in the future.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Yeah. Now, what's your Instagram and all your handles?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So Instagram is Great Lakes Great Responsibility. Facebook, same thing, Great Lakes Great Responsibility. I am on TikTok as well.
TikTok.
Great Lakes Love. Yes. I see you're on there too.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a fish out of water sometimes with the Gen Zers, but us millennials have to represent. So yeah. Yeah. Those are all my handles. And
awesome.
Yeah, our website's greatlakeslove.org. So
beautiful. That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll be back for podcast number 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
it would
love
be
that.
great. Yeah. So thank you. I loved hearing all about it.
Yay, thanks, Misty.
Oh, well, thank you. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Listening to Meg from Great Lakes, Great Responsibility. Thank you. Sharing your stories and classes. Keep checking on the calendar. More events are going to be popping up. We're really getting on more on the creative side this year for classes, and there'll probably be a lot more on the lake. And we're really looking forward. We're gearing up, and I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are ready to come out, learn how to paddle, and be part of the community. Pick up some trash. Thanks again, guys.